What if I told you that all four semi-finalists have a clear weakness? One that could cost them the World Cup. France reached this stage with a perfect record, but now they will face the team that has conceded the fewest goals in the tournament. England managed to shut down Holland, but next up, they have to face the defending champions. As for Argentina, their road to who goes to the final? Let's analyze the quarterfinals. Names like France, Spain, England, and Argentina might seem expected. But what makes this World Cup special is that these four teams got here using totally different styles. France is the only team to reach the semi-finals with 6 consecutive wins. Spain is also unbeaten, but they built their run on defensive discipline and controlling the tempo of the game. England had to fight back from behind multiple times during the knockout rounds. And Argentina, they suffered the most out of the four, surviving tough battles to secure their spot in the Final Four. England and Norway, what was the reason for Holland's return? If there is one team leaving the quarterfinals with regrets, not because they played against a much better team, but because they were so close to achieving the biggest moment in their World Cup history. What actually happened? England started the match as the favorites, but Norway had the better start. At the end of the first half, Andreas Schjelderup scored to put Norway ahead with a tricky shot that beat Jordan Pickford, putting England behind for the first time in the knockouts. In the second half, the dynamic of the game changed. Jude Bellingham, England's best player of the tournament so far, took charge. He scored the equalizer with a brilliant individual effort, then scored the winner in extra time by tapping in a rebound from goalkeeper Ørjan Nyland. The match ended 2-1 after extra time, sending England to back-to-back World Cup semi-finals. Why did Norway lose? The final score doesn't mean England dominated the game. On the contrary, several reports described England's performance as unconvincing for long periods, while Norway missed clear chances to kill the game before extra time. And that was the difference. Elite teams might not play well for 90 minutes, but they deliver when it matters most. That is exactly what England did. Meanwhile, Norway paid the price for wasting chances against a team with match winners who can change the game in a split second. And what about Holland? After the match, most headlines focused on one name, Erling Haaland. But the truth is, the problem wasn't just Haaland. Norway relied on him too much in the final third, making it easy for England's defense to predict their attacks. If England managed to survive, Argentina went through an equally difficult battle. The defending champions entered their almost the exact same scenario. But the difference was, their game against Switzerland turned into one of the most exciting. Messi delivered a corner kick, and Alexis McAllister rose to head home the opening goal. But Switzerland did not collapse. They kept pressing, and in the 67th minute, Dan Ndoye scored the equalizer, bringing the game back to square one. Just 5 minutes later, the 112th minute, Julian Alvarez exploited the open space to score the second goal. Then, in the final moments, Lautaro Martinez sealed the win with a third goal, securing a 3-1 victory for Argentina and their ticket to the semi-finals. But was Argentina convincing? Not against a team like England? Because the Three Lions also played 120 minutes to get here. But the difference is, England got through Messi's vision, Alvarez's clinical edge, and Lautaro's finishing. This leads us to the match the whole world is waiting for. Argentina versus England. This is not just a semi-final. Argentina versus England. Who will impose their style first? If we forget about history for a second, and look only at their performance in the 2026 World Cup, we will see two completely different tactical philosophies. Argentina has scored 16 goals. England has scored 13 goals so far, but the underlying stats show something else. Argentina has conceded 6 goals during the tournament, while England has conceded 7. So the attacking output is very close, and the defensive records are almost identical. Therefore, this match won't be decided by past goals, but by the tiny tactical details on the pitch. Where can England win this? England's biggest weapon in this tournament is the power of their midfield. The presence of Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham allows Thomas Tuchel to play with great tactical flexibility. The team can press high, they can drop deep, and then transition quickly upon winning the ball back. But the issue is, England sometimes leaves open space behind their fullbacks when they push forward. This is a weakness that Messi and Alvarez can exploit if they drag defenders out of position. And where can Argentina win this? Argentina doesn't need high possession to create chances. What makes them special is their variety of attacking solutions. If you block the center, they will attack from the flanks. If you close down the wings, you will find Messi operating between the lines. However, the issue that appeared against Switzerland was that they struggled when they lost control of the midfield. At times, they were forced to defend for longer periods than they are used to. Against England, this could be extremely dangerous. Because the quality of the English midfielders is higher than most of the teams Argentina has faced so far. Will this be a grudge match? Some people might talk about the Falklands War or Maradona's Hand of God goal in the 1986 World Cup. But the truth is, the players on the pitch today were not even born back then. On the pitch, the match won't be decided by history, but by who makes fewer mistakes. Yet, the historical rivalry still adds massive media and fan pressure, making this bigger than any other semifinal. Now let's look at the other semifinal. If Argentina versus England is a balanced match, then France versus Spain could be the ultimate tactical battle of this tournament. An undefeated team against the best defensive unit in the World Cup, but who will impose their style first? France versus Spain. The ultimate attack versus the ultimate defense. While Argentina versus England is highly balanced, France versus Spain is completely different, because this is not a battle of stars, but a battle of tactical philosophies. France reached the semifinals with 6 wins from 6 games, scoring 16 goals and conceding only twice. As for Spain, they are also unbeaten, with 5 wins and 1 draw, scoring 11 goals, while conceding just a single goal in the entire tournament, facing one of the most lethal attacks. How does Spain play? Since the first round, it was clear that Spain doesn't just want to win. They want to dictate the game. For them, possession is not the goal. It's a defensive tool to prevent the opponent from creating chances. That's why they've only conceded once so far. However, there is a vulnerability. When Spain is forced to chase the game, their defensive line pushes very high, leaving massive spaces behind their defense. And how does France play? France is different. They don't need the ball. They can give you possession and hurt you in a single counterattack, having Mbappe and pace on the wings. Makes losing the ball in midfield a lethal threat because of this. The biggest battle won't be between the forwards, but in the midfield. If Spain manages to retain possession, they will dominate. But if France wins the ball in advanced areas, every transition could turn into a goal-scoring opportunity. What do the numbers say? France was the favorite to win the tournament. Their chance of reaching the final was around 57.7%, while Spain's chance was 42.3%. But these are not guaranteed predictions. Just results of thousands of computer simulations based on team form and statistics. One final word before we predict. Looking at the tournament so far, every team has a reason to dream of lifting the trophy. France is the most stable. Spain is defensively superior. Argentina are the world champions who know how to survive big matches. And England are the team that proved they can make a comeback even when everything is against them. But history doesn't play the game, and stats don't score goals. In the semifinals, it could be decided by a single moment, a single mistake, or even a refereeing decision. Conclusion. Now, it's your turn. Who will reach the final? Spain or France? Argentina or England? Write your prediction in the comments below with the score. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Because after the semi-finals, we will bring you a full tactical and statistical analysis of both matches to see if our predictions came true or if the World Cup had another surprise in store.